what the definition of insanity is. Insanity is.
Homefront the Revolution, apparently. What's up everyone, Donnie Danko back with you again. But this time, I'm reviewing Homefront the Revolution. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the following. So, Homefront was a fun game in my opinion. No matter how ridiculous the plot and setup were, I liked the gunplay and the linear story that took you for a ride. The game was highly underrated and not even available on Steam for some time, go figure. Anywho, I was almost certain there was not gonna be a sequel. But then, I saw the headlines on some post on Facebook saying Homefront the Revolution is going to be released. Oh joy! Of course, I wanted to make sure that we were talking about Homefront. The Homefront. After confirming that, I was looking forward to this with hopes of a great experience yet again. When the game came out, I was busy and didn't have enough time to play it, but time passed and I finally got around to it. These are my thoughts on it. Starting off, I'd like to say I loved Far Cry 3 because of its nice approach to the genre of FPS. Open world, nice beaches, and wildlife. Modern pirates, crazy villains, and much more. It seems the devs of Homefront the Revolution loved it too. Maybe too much. Their game reminds me of the idea of Far Cry 3, but it fails to deliver the same impact, and here's why. The game is set in a city. Everything's a bloody concrete jungle. Lots of ruined buildings, poverty and unrest. If you want to make a game that centers on that concept, you might as well just make it linear. I mean, look at the Call of Duty series. They're still selling their garbage with the linear storytelling, despite their lack of quality. Homefront 1 did the right thing, in my eyes of course, but the Revolution busted completely. I guess one of my main arguments is that the game is not linear. I know a lot of people lately have been crying about games being linear. But what they don't understand is that when a game is linear, the story is told a lot better, and the concept is nicely absorbed, making it a fun experience. I didn't really want to play Far Cry 3 in a city, with dumb AI, on the hardest difficulty mind you, and characters with personalities of 10-year-olds. I'll get to that after I finish with the gameplay problems. The mechanics of the game are okay, acceptable, not the best of course, but it's not as boring, minus the idea of crisis and the whole press X to make your weapon morph from a pistol to an SMG or assault rifle to a light machine gun, etc. It was done on CryEngine, so I'm not too surprised. The stealth mechanics remind me of Assassin's Creed, where you blend in with people if you're simply standing close to them. Like being in proximity of a possible revolutionary isn't going to seem suspicious in contrast to standing on the street alone. Yeah, dumb system. The AI is awful. After chasing me down the block, some of them decided it was a great idea to head back the moment I simply ran behind a wall. Yeah, he's totally escaped us if he ran behind a wall 5 meters ahead. We probably can't get him anymore. Terrible. The gunplay is fun. Not as hard as the first one, but it's fun. I can dig it. Also, you get to ride a dirt bike. It's shit and broken. In other words, pointless. You have to liberate parts of the city for some reason so that the people can rise up and start a revolution, which makes sense, but the way you go about it is hilarious. You help people who clean walls under the surveillance of armed enforcers. You change radio stations on radios that are sitting in the dumbest spots with no one listening to them, and you destroy Korean tech. Man, what a way to start a passionate revolution. Woohoo! Moving on to the characters. The main dude you're supposed to rescue, who is the so-called voice of the people and the lord of the revolution, is imprisoned by the enforcers. His left and right hand people are basically two 10-year-olds who are unfit to be called adults. Let me explain. The guy who's your main source of missions is a dude in his early 30s who's never really grown up from the idea of the king of the playground. His only goal is to start a revolution, start a war, start shit with anything and have a lot of gunfire and death. His personality is absolutely stupid. And it's ridiculous how they even managed to survive for that long with him being one of the top dogs. Sad, really. The other person is a chick in her late 20s who's all about the edge. She likes anything that's edgy. Her appearance is edgy. Her personality is edgy. She's a borderline psychopath and an absolute sadist, with no regards to anyone else. She's like a very fucked up version of a tomboyish girl who's on her period 24/7, with little to no brain functionality. The rest of the cast is really boring and bland. There's a doctor who's all about peace and love, but he's dumb in reality. He's basically a sad attempt at a moral standpoint in the story. And the NPCs around, like the random people, absolutely bland. They're all the same. There's nothing to gain from them. And finally, let me talk about the main character that you play. He's basically a robot type character that just goes around and does whatever is asked of him, never questioning anything and displaying no free will. The game gives you the false sense of an open world that's actually not open at all, and is controlled by the stupid plot and storyline mixed with optional missions to capture dumb points of interest and lightly guarded military compounds. The game is very limited, and it drives itself into a corner most of the time. It's also very glitchy and bugs out quite often. Finally, I like to say that I had little to no fun playing this, and I'd rate it poorly. I would not recommend this to anyone, but I would encourage you to look at some gameplay for educational purposes. Point being, don't spend $60 on shit like this. Go play something more enjoyable and let these idiotic studios die out because of their lack of creativity. Alrighty guys, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed something other than Battlerite for a change, but no worries, it's still the main game I'll be playing for a while. But of course, clips like these, and maybe even some more comedy and real talk mixed in. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, do the opposite if you didn't. Don't be shy to comment down below. I always try to answer all comments in a timely manner, and share the video if you think others should see it too. See you in the next one.